A girl stepped down from the plane. She wore small sunglasses and a lollipop in her mouth. The man looked at her with a strange smile. Then the old man surreptitiously handed the man a pack of medicine. Laughing mystically, acting like he didn't need to say anything. The two were a couple. Richard was a star going out with his girlfriend. The next day Jen was eating apples. As soon as she turned her head, she was startled. It turned out that there were two people holding shotguns outside. The two of them stared at her. Now Richard came to open the door. It turned out that these two were his friends. Jen also didn't know he invited others. Richard introduced his girlfriend to them. The expressions of these two people were strangely speechless. They eat together in the evening. Dmitri observed Jen with binoculars. Jen's appearance was enough to make anyone fall in love. Now Richard took out the medicine package. This was a powerful pain reliever, he said. Even his cut arm didn't feel pain. Richard handed the medicine to Jen. Jen hid the medicine in her necklace. The next day Jen woke up from a dream. Richard went where no one knew. She went outside when she ran into Stan. Stan received her very warmly. Also carefully wiped the butter from her waist. Jen glanced around where Dmitri was sunbathing. She and Stan talked. But his every sentence wasn't meant to be good. His gaze was on Jen. Jen was a bit scared, so she smiled shyly. She told to go back to the cleaning room and got off. When she went into the bedroom, Stan had came. Facing Stan she was a bit unnatural. At this point, Stan said that he liked her. Jen said she liked tall people. But Stan still asked without letting go. She said Richard must be returned soon. She clearly reminded Stan not to throw off his integrity. Jen stood up and wanted to leave. Who expected Stan pressed her against the corner. She was trying to run, but Stan directly stopped her. She cried because of fear. Dmitri opened the door. Jen looked at him with tears in her eyes. In her eyes were helpless prayers for help. But Dmitri glanced wordlessly and left. There was no vibration in his heart, no remorse. Richard finally returned. Jen told him she wanted to go home now. Stan bullied her. But this Richard gave Jen the check. Also told her to keep it quiet this time. She cried and said now she wanted to go home. Richard's attitude devastated her. She picked up the phone and said if she wouldn't let me go home, would expose this. Who expected Richard to directly slap her and knock her to the floor? Richard clearly didn't see her. Jen got up and ran outside. She knew what it meant to stay. But running for a while had run out of way, only the cliff. Richard said he would definitely take her home. But directly pushed her down the cliff. She was pierced by a tree branch hanging from above. The blood fell to the ground drop by drop. On her feet were all ants. Jen opened her eyes. She was still not dead. Looking around there wasn't any people. She saw something on the ground. Raised hand but didn't reach. Enduring the paralysis pain she got a lighter. Pulling a few rounds, burning straw on the ground. At last the tree branch caught fire. The branch was burned, she fell down. The three men left but turned around. They were afraid the girl was still alive. She heard the car trying to suppress the pain of crawling away. She stood close to the cliff to avoid sight. The three men just looked up to know what was wrong. If Jen wasn't dead, they were all done. They decided to go down to check. When the three went down, Jen had run away long ago. They saw blood stains on the ground. Prepared to track blood. On the road was the blood that her wound left behind. They followed a circuit to the riverbank that disappeared. Jen on the other side, holding back from pain, followed the water. An off-road vehicle came. Suddenly, she swam to the water. She relieved pain to climb ashore. The light ahead was Dmitri looking for her. He stopped the car on the side to go to the toilet. Jen careful stepped. Because there was a shotgun in front. Run up to directly took up the weapon aimed at Dmitri. Without hesitation, pulled the trigger. But there were no bullets in the gun. Dmitri directly defeated her. Kick 1 foot on the body. He put Jen in the water to torture her. In a panic, Jen pulled out a dagger from his hip. Standing up and stabbing Dmitri in the face directly. Eventually Dmitri died in the lake. She coldly looked at Dmitri. Also, no one knew this was just the beginning. Jen drove Dmitri's car. Took away all of his items. To a mountain cave pour out outdoor equipment. Split ammo, flashlight and a can of beer. She took the powerful painkiller hidden in the chain. Put bullets on the gun. She had to prepare to take revenge on the man who betrayed her. Used lighters to disinfect the dagger. Got the dagger plugged into the cut again. Used fire to burn the cans. Putting it on your stomach prevents infection. On the other side the two discovered Dmitri's body in the river. They must quickly find Jen. Jen woke up in the mountain cave. She carried all of the suitable equipment. In that look was all killing intent. This time it would definitely be a fight to the death. She saw the car Stan drove with her binoculars. Bare feet followed a circuit in the back. Stan's car ran out of gas, got down to refuel. He didn't know a cold gunshot was aimed at him from the corner. Firing a shot didn't hit the critical point. That elastic force fell. Standing up and looking for no one. Jen was more or less confused now. Carefully approached the car. Only blood stains could be seen on the ground. Stan was injured and ran straight ahead. At this point, the identity of the hunter and the prey had completely changed. Jen ran to the front. She didn't know Stan was hiding behind. Shooting a shot, Jen was knocked out. She got up and ran forward. But Stan aimed to shoot in the back. Seeing not catch up, Stan returned to the car. Jen had a gun waiting for him in the front. She stood there like a warrior. By the time the car approached her, shot one shot in the center of the forehead. This time she took a car. That other side Richard lost contact with his accomplices. Also felt the smell of danger. Back to the villa, he called to send the plane to pick him up. Then when he went to the bathroom to shower, he heard the car outside again. He took the gun and went out to see it. Looking around, no one could be assured. A second later he was taken aback. Jen appeared out of the glass. She held a gun, in her eyes full of hatred. Jen didn't give him the chance but shot directly. Then the two began to fight. Richard ran away, Jen chased from behind. This paragraph was too violent to mention so much. Went to a corner of the wall. She saw blood flowing from below. Back to back. Took a tour of chasing Richard. Unexpectedly Richard also circled around to play with her. In the end, Jen killed him.